Ask her this. She'll feel instantly attracted, no rejection. Psychology tricks. I'm going to start this video with something honest. Most men don't fear intimacy. They fear rejection. They fear that moment when they make a move and the woman pulls back, turns cold, or says something that instantly kills the vibe. But what if I told you something? There's a way to ask a woman for intimacy without sounding desperate, without pressure, and without facing rejection. A way that uses psychology, not manipulation, not force. But the understanding of how women emotionally, why questions create attraction, decide when they're ready, and who they want to be ready with. And that's exactly what you're about to learn. Now, before we get deep into this, let me hook you in with something almost no one knows. Women don't reject intimacy. Women reject the feeling attached to it. If the emotional experience feels wrong, the answer is no. If it feels right, the answer comes naturally. And the trick you're about to learn makes it feel right. Now, let's go deeper. The book. Foundation: Understanding Female Decision. Every man who gets rejected for intimacy usually makes one of these mistakes. He asks too directly, he asks too soon, he asks with nervous energy, or he asks without building emotional tension first. And here's the secret. Women don't decide intimacy logically. They decide emotionally. The moment she feels safe, understood, desired, but not pressured, emotionally aligned, the door opens. So today, I'm going to give you the dark psychology way to ask for intimacy without ever sounding needy, without making her uncomfortable, and without risking that cold rejection. But before we get into the techniques, let me explain something critical about female psychology that the mistake most men make completely miss. Women experience desire differently than men. For most men, attraction is visual and immediate. You see someone attractive and your body responds instantly. But for women, attraction is layered. It builds. It accumulates through context, emotions, safety, and anticipation. This is why a woman can meet a man, feel nothing, and then 3 weeks later find herself completely drawn to him. It's not that she was playing games. It's that her attraction needed time to develop through emotional experiences. Understanding this changes everything about how you approach intimacy. Because if you know that her desire builds through emotional layering, then you stop rushing, you stop pushing, you start creating the conditions where her desire naturally escalates. Let's start with the most powerful principle. The first trick: you never ask directly. Let me repeat this, because this alone can change everything for you. You never ask a woman for intimacy directly. Women don't respond to direct proposals. They respond to emotional invitation, and there is a massive difference. Don't rush. Don't push. Don't turn connection into a transaction. Be the man who understands that how to fall in love is not about forcing a moment. It's about creating one. And a high-value man knows this deeply, because he doesn't chase outcomes, he builds experiences. When you ask a woman directly, you pull her into logic, into evaluation, into a space where she starts thinking instead of feeling. And that is where hesitation lives. That is where doubt grows. That is where rejection begins. But when you invite her emotionally, subtly, calmly, without urgency, you guide her into a completely different space. One where she feels free. One where she feels in control. And that is the secret most men miss. Because a woman doesn't resist intimacy itself, she resists the feeling of being pushed into it. So instead of asking, you create an atmosphere. You create a moment that feels natural, effortless, almost inevitable. Think about it this way. The last time someone tried too hard to convince you of something, didn't you pull back even if you were initially interested? That instinct doesn't disappear in dating. It becomes even stronger. So don't sell. Don't convince. Don't pressure. Be present. Be grounded. Be calm. Because that is what signals emotional strength. And emotional strength is what defines a high-value man. Now understand this clearly. Women move toward intimacy through emotion, not instruction. And if you want to truly understand how to fall in love in a way that feels real and lasting, you must learn to speak to emotion, not logic. This is where the deeper psychology comes in, because there are 3 emotional triggers that quietly decide everything: safety, trust, and anticipation. If even one is missing, she will hesitate no matter how attractive you are, no matter how confident you appear. So don't ignore this. Don't skip this. You must build these three deliberately. First, safety. This is not about time, it's about feeling. She doesn't need to know you for years. She needs to feel that being with you won't cost her peace, won't make her regret her choices. And that comes from your emotional control, your calm energy, your ability to stay steady instead of reactive. Because when you are grounded, she relaxes. When you are unpredictable or overly eager, she becomes cautious. So don't overtalk. Don't oversell yourself. Just be centered. Second, trust. This is built in the small moments. When your words match your behavior. When you say you're not in a rush and you truly aren't. When you respect her boundaries without making her feel guilty for them. This is where many men fail. Because they say one thing, but their energy communicates another. And she feels that instantly. So be consistent. Be aligned. Because trust is not built through big gestures, it's built through quiet reliability. Third, anticipation. This is the spark, the tension, the invisible thread that pulls her closer without force. And you create it through restraint, through leaving space, through allowing moments to breathe instead of filling every silence. Because anticipation lives in what is not said, in what could happen, not what is demanded. A high-value man understands this. He doesn't rush to the end. He enjoys the unfolding. He allows her to lean in emotionally at her own pace. Now here is where everything comes together. Most men focus only on attraction, being funny, being impressive, being confident. And while those matter, they are not enough. Because attraction without safety feels risky. Attraction without trust feels unstable. And attraction without anticipation feels flat. So don't rely on surface-level charm. Go deeper. Build the emotional foundation. Because that is what turns interest into desire and desire into connection. And here is the truth you must remember. If you want to master how to fall in love in a way that feels natural and powerful, you don't ask for the moment. You become the man the moment naturally happens with. You create an environment where she feels safe enough to open, trusts you enough to stay, and feels curious enough to move closer. And when those three align, intimacy doesn't feel like a decision. It feels like the next step. And that is why she doesn't resist it, because in her mind, it was always her choice. The second trick, the soft withdrawal effect. The second trick is what I call the soft withdrawal effect, and you need to understand this carefully because it's one of the smoothest, most quietly powerful psychology tricks you'll ever use. Not loud, not aggressive, not obvious. That is exactly why it works. Most men think attraction is built by moving forward, by pushing, by escalating. But here's the truth. Attraction often grows in the space you don't fill. That is where female psychology becomes very revealing. So instead of leaning in when the moment feels right, you do something unexpected. You lean back, gently, calmly, without tension, not in a rude way, not in a cold or distant way. Be clear about this. You are not withdrawing interest, you are releasing pressure. That is the difference. And that small shift does two powerful things instantly. First, it removes pressure. Completely. You must understand, pressure is the silent killer of attraction. The moment a woman feels like something is expected from her, even if she likes you, her guard goes up. That is natural. That is human. Second, it creates emotional space. And in that space, something interesting happens. She begins to lean toward you. Not because you asked, not because you pushed, but because now it feels like her choice. And that is everything in female psychology. Desire that feels self-directed becomes stronger, deeper, and more real. There's a quiet truth in human connection. What we pursue runs away. What we allow comes closer. You must remember that. When a woman feels that you're not trying to take something from her, she relaxes. When she relaxes, she opens. And when she opens, she moves closer on her own terms. That is where rejection fades away. Not because you avoided it directly, but because you never created the conditions for it to appear in the first place. Let's bring this into a real moment so you can feel it clearly. You're sitting with a woman. There's chemistry. The conversation flows easily. There's laughter, eye contact, a natural rhythm between you. Most men at this exact point make the same mistake. They rush. They think, this is my moment. So they lean in. They get closer. They increase physical contact. Maybe they go for a kiss too soon. And what happens? She pulls back, slightly, subtly, not always dramatically, but enough to shift the energy. And here's the key, you must not misread this. It doesn't mean she's not interested. It means she felt pressure. Now imagine a different approach. Same moment, same chemistry, but instead of leaning in, you lean back, just a little. You pause. You let the silence breathe for a second. You glance away, then return your attention calmly. No rush. No grab for the moment. Just presence. What happens next is where these psychology tricks reveal their power. The pressure disappears. Completely. And in that absence, her mind shifts. She becomes aware of something she wasn't focused on before, her own desire. She starts thinking, wait, why did he pull back? Not in a negative way, but in a curious way. Is he unsure? Is he different? Is he not trying to rush this? And right there, something flips. She leans in. She initiates the touch. She closes the distance. And she does it naturally, without even realizing she's doing it. That is the soft withdrawal effect in action. You didn't chase. You didn't force. You simply created space and let attraction grow inside it. This is where many men get it wrong. They think attraction is about doing more. More talking, more touching, more proving. Don't fall into that trap. Be the man who understands timing. Be the man who respects energy. That is rare. That is powerful. When you show that you are comfortable without rushing intimacy, you signal confidence at a deeper level. Not loud confidence, not performative confidence, but grounded confidence. The kind that says, I don't need to force anything. I trust the moment. And trust is attractive. Calm is attractive. Control over your own impulses, that is deeply attractive in female psychology, because it makes her feel safe, not pressured, not rushed, safe. And when a woman feels safe, she allows herself to feel. And when she feels, she connects. But don't misunderstand this. This is not about playing games. Don't fake withdrawal. Don't act distant just to trigger a reaction. That will always feel off. Women sense that. This only works when it comes from a real place, when you are genuinely comfortable with the pace of the interaction, when you are not desperate for an outcome, when you are present, not chasing a result. So remember this clearly. Don't rush the moment. Don't grab at connection. Let it unfold. Be patient. Be grounded. That is where real attraction lives. The soft withdrawal effect is not about stepping away. It's about creating the space where she steps forward. And once you understand this, you begin to see something powerful. Attraction is not built by force. It's built by allowing, by timing, by emotional awareness. These are the deeper layers of psychology tricks and female psychology that most men overlook, but once you master them, everything changes. The third trick, the implanted thought shift. The implanted thought shift is not about asking for intimacy. Don't ask. Don't push. Don't signal need. Instead, guide her attention. That is the move. You give her a thought that feels natural, effortless, almost like it came from her own mind. You say something like, I really like the way our energy feels together, or you're surprisingly easy to be close to, or there's something calm about you that makes this feel natural. Notice what's happening. You are not requesting anything. You are not chasing. You are not seeking approval. You are leading the emotional frame, and that is masculine energy in action. Calm, grounded, certain. This is how you attract women without ever stepping into pressure. Because women don't respond to instructions, they respond to feelings. Always remember that. When she feels something real in your presence, intimacy becomes her idea, her curiosity, her movement toward you. That is power. That is alignment. And as Dale Carnegie once said, when dealing with people, remember you are not dealing with creatures of logic, but creatures of emotion. So stop trying to convince. Start helping her feel. Here's what's happening beneath the surface. When you speak these emotionally suggestive statements, you're not planting something foreign. You're bringing awareness to something already there. She already feels the vibe. She already senses the connection, but she hasn't labeled it yet. You do that for her. You give it words. And when you reflect her internal state back to her, she aligns with you. She thinks, yes, that's exactly it. That moment creates a bond, a quiet, powerful bond. This is one of the most overlooked psychology tricks in modern dating. You're not adding pressure, you're removing confusion. And clarity creates comfort. Comfort builds attraction. Now understand this principle clearly. What you highlight, she experiences more deeply. That's priming. When you casually introduce words like connection, natural, easy, close, her mind begins to filter the interaction through that lens. She starts noticing those feelings more, not because you forced them, but because you directed her awareness. That is intelligent masculine energy. Subtle, precise, intentional. And this is how you attract women in today's world, where noise is everywhere and pressure kills interest. You slow it down. You bring presence. You guide emotion without ever asking for anything. Don't rush. Don't over-explain. Don't break the moment by seeking validation. Be the man who understands timing. Say less, but say it with purpose. Let silence do its work. Let her sit in the feeling you helped uncover. That's where attraction grows. And here's where most men fail. They say something powerful, then they ruin it by chasing a reaction. Don't do that. Say it. Mean it. Then let it breathe. Confidence is not in what you say. It's in what you don't need to follow up. That is how you hold the frame. That is how you build real attraction. In modern life, where conversations are rushed and attention is short, this skill separates you immediately. Anyone can talk. Few can lead emotion. And the man who leads emotion calmly and naturally will always attract women without resistance. Remember this. You are not trying to get her to feel something. You are helping her recognize what she already feels. That is the shift. That is the edge. And once you understand this, you stop chasing outcomes and start creating experiences. The fourth trick, you must let her feel safe in her feminine energy. The fourth principle is simple, but most men miss it completely. You must allow her to feel safe in her feminine energy, because intimacy for a woman is not just physical, it is emotional, and more importantly, it is rooted in softness, trust, warmth, vulnerability, and openness. And here is the truth you must accept. She cannot access that state if you show up tense, rushed, overly focused on the physical, or trying to control the outcome. You must understand this clearly. Do not push. Do not chase approval. Do not rush the moment. Be the calm. That is what a high-value man does. He creates space, not pressure. He brings presence, not performance. And when you truly learn how to fall in love with the process, not the outcome, you begin to shift everything about how she experiences you. Because masculine calm is not about silence or pretending to be emotionless. It is not about acting cold or distant. That is a mistake many men make. Real calm is grounded energy. It is the quiet confidence of a man who is comfortable in his own skin, who is not seeking validation every second, who is not asking, "Is this okay?" or "Do you like me?" but instead is fully present, fully aware, and completely at ease with whatever happens next. That is power. That is attraction. That is how to fall in love in a way that draws her in naturally instead of pushing her away. You must see the contrast. On one side, the man who constantly checks, adjusts, and seeks reassurance. He creates tension. He pulls her into her head, into analysis, into protection. On the other side, the high-value man who simply exists in the moment. He creates ease. He allows her to feel. He invites her to relax. And women respond to this instantly, not logically, but emotionally, because women feel energy before they process words. They can sense when you are trying too hard. They can feel when you are nervous, when you are rushing, when you are outcome-focused. And every time you bring that energy, you unknowingly push her into her masculine state, where she starts thinking instead of feeling, evaluating instead of flowing, protecting instead of opening. That is where attraction dies. So stop doing that. Slow down. Breathe. Be grounded. Because when you hold calm, steady energy, something shifts. Her guard drops. Her shoulders relax. Her voice softens. And now, instead of resisting, she begins to lean in. This is where desire lives, not in force, not in pressure, but in emotional safety. And this is why so many women are drawn to men who appear experienced. It is not about the experience itself. It is about what that experience creates: calmness, patience, and certainty. Those men are not scrambling to figure things out. They are not reacting to every small signal. They are flowing. They trust themselves. And that trust becomes contagious. You must become that man. You must embody that energy. Because when you do, you no longer need tricks. You no longer need lines. You no longer need to impress. Your presence does the work for you. That is the real psychology most men overlook. Now understand this critical moment, the moment before you ask, the moment where most men fail. They rush. They overthink. They let anxiety take over. And in doing so, they break the very emotional state they work to build. Do not make that mistake. Stay calm. Stay grounded. Let the moment breathe. Because the truth is, attraction is not built in the question, it is built in the feeling that comes before it. If she feels safe, if she feels seen, if she feels relaxed, then her answer becomes natural. Not forced, not pressured, just natural. That is how to fall in love in a way that feels effortless. And that is exactly how a high-value man operates. He does not chase outcomes. He creates experiences. He does not demand responses. He allows them. He does not rush connection. He builds it slowly, confidently, and with intention. So remember this. Do not try to control the moment. Be the calm within it. Do not seek approval. Be the man who approves of himself. Do not force attraction. Create the space where it can grow. Because when you master this, when you truly understand how to hold that masculine calm, you will never have to worry about rejection the same way again. Why? Because you are no longer trying to make something happen, you are allowing it to happen, and that is where real power begins. The fifth trick is simple, but it changes everything. Never ask for a yes. Ask for a feeling. That is the shift most men miss. When you ask for a yes, you create pressure. You create a moment where she must accept or reject. And rejection, even when it's gentle, still feels like a wall. But when you ask for a feeling, you open a door. You invite honesty. You invite her into herself. Don't say, "Do you want to come back with me?" Don't put her in that corner. Be smarter. Be calmer. Say, "Does this feel too fast for you?" Or, "Do you feel comfortable being here with me?" That is a completely different energy. You're not pushing forward. You're leaning back and allowing space. And in that space, something powerful happens. She relaxes. She stops calculating. She stops worrying about what her answer says about her. Instead, she simply checks in with her own emotions. This is where psychology tricks rooted in real female psychology begin to work naturally, not forcefully. You're not manipulating her. You're aligning with how she already processes attraction. Women don't move forward because they are told to. They move forward because they feel safe enough to choose it themselves. That is the game. That is the truth most men overlook. Think about it. When you ask, "Do you want to?" she suddenly has 10 thoughts running through her mind. What does this mean? Is it too soon? Will he judge me? Will I regret this? Am I ready? Every one of those questions creates friction. Every one of those questions slows the moment down. And most of the time, friction leads to hesitation, and hesitation leads to a no, even if the attraction was already there. But when you ask, "Does this feel too fast for you?" everything simplifies. Now she only has to answer one thing: how she feels right now. Not tomorrow. Not what it means. Just this moment. That is easy. That is natural. That is safe. And safety is everything. Don't underestimate that. A woman who feels safe is a woman who opens up. A woman who feels in control is a woman who leans in. That is female psychology at its core. It's not about convincing her. It's about removing the pressure so she can convince herself. Here's the part most men get wrong. They think attraction is about saying the perfect line. It's not. It's about creating the right emotional environment. And this is one of the most effective psychology tricks you can use to do exactly that. Now, let's go deeper. Imagine she responds with, yeah, maybe a little. That is not rejection. Don't treat it like one. That is information. That is trust. She is telling you where she is emotionally. And your response matters more than the question you asked. Don't pull back awkwardly. Don't over-explain. Stay grounded. Stay calm. Say, that's totally fine. I'm not trying to rush anything. I'm really enjoying just being here with you. That is it. Simple, clear, confident. What happens next is almost predictable. She feels heard. She feels respected. She feels like she's not being pushed into a decision. And because of that, the tension disappears. The pressure dissolves. And when pressure disappears, attraction has room to grow again. This is the paradox most men don't understand. The less you push for a yes, the more likely you are to get one. The more you respect her pace, the faster she often moves toward you. That is not manipulation. That is understanding human nature, especially female psychology, at a deeper level. Be patient. Don't rush the moment. Let it breathe. Let her emotions catch up with the attraction she already feels. Because many times she's already interested. She's just waiting to feel safe enough to act on it. And here's something important. When you use this approach consistently, you stand out without trying. Most men push. Most men rush. Most men unknowingly create pressure. But you? You create comfort. You create clarity. You create a space where she can be honest without fear. That is rare. And what is rare is attractive. You must understand this clearly. Attraction is not built in the moment you ask. It is built in how you ask. It is built in the emotional tone you bring. It is built in whether she feels free or cornered. So don't chase the yes. Don't obsess over the outcome. Focus on the feeling. Focus on the connection. Focus on making her feel safe enough to choose. Because when she chooses, it's real. When she chooses, there is no resistance. When she chooses, there is no second guessing. And that is the difference between a forced moment and a natural one. Between rejection and connection. Between trying too hard and simply understanding how attraction truly works. Use these psychology tricks wisely. Respect the process. Trust the pace. And most importantly, remember this. The strongest position you can ever be in is not the one who asks for permission, but the one who creates an environment where she wants to say yes on her own. Number 6. Mirror her desire back to her. Understand this clearly, because most men completely miss it. A woman does not move toward intimacy simply because you want her. She moves toward intimacy because she feels your desire in a way that is steady, grounded, and controlled, never overwhelming, never absent. That is the balance every high-value man must master if he truly wants to fall in love without losing himself in the process. Too much desire creates pressure, and pressure closes her off. Too little desire signals indifference, and indifference makes her withdraw. But balanced desire, calm, present, responsive, that is what creates attraction. That is what keeps her leaning in. That is what defines a high-value man. So when she gets closer, when her voice softens, when she holds your gaze a little longer than usual, when her hand casually brushes against yours, don't overthink it and don't overreact. Match it. Not more. Not less. Match it. That is how to fall in love without chasing, without forcing, without asking for permission. That is how a high-value man moves. Because what you are doing in that moment is sending a powerful unspoken message. I see you, I feel you, and I am right here with you. And that message, though never spoken, lands deeper than any line you could ever say. Mirroring works because it is rooted in something ancient, something wired deep into human behavior. From the earliest moments of life, connection is built through reflection. When a baby smiles and the parent smiles back, the child learns safety, learns trust, learns that their emotions matter. That same mechanism never disappears. It simply evolves. So when a woman expresses even the smallest hint of desire or vulnerability, and you meet it with equal energy, not overwhelming it, not ignoring it, You activate that same sense of emotional safety. And safety is the foundation of attraction. Understand this. She is not just reacting to what you do, she is reacting to how you make her feel about herself. If she feels seen, she opens. If she feels rushed, she pulls back. If she feels ignored, she disconnects. That is why most men fail. They lack calibration. They either freeze and underrespond, making her feel exposed and awkward for showing interest, or they go too far, too fast, turning a small spark into an uncontrollable fire that makes her retreat. Don't be either man. Be precise. Be measured. Be aware. If she touches your arm, return the touch naturally. If she holds eye contact for 3 seconds, you hold it for 3 seconds. Not 5. Not 1. Match her rhythm. If she leans in, you lean in. If she laughs freely, you allow yourself to meet that energy without trying to outperform it. This is not performance. This is alignment. And alignment is everything when it comes to how to fall in love in a way that feels effortless and real. Because when two people move at the same emotional pace, something powerful happens. It becomes a dance. A quiet, unspoken dance where neither person leads too aggressively and neither person falls behind. And in that dance, intimacy builds on its own. There is no need to force a moment. There is no need to ask, can I or should I? Because the connection answers those questions for you. This is what separates a high-value man from everyone else. He doesn't chase moments. He creates conditions where moments naturally unfold. He doesn't overwhelm her with desire, and he doesn't hide his interest either. He stands in the middle, grounded, aware, responsive. That is strength. That is control. That is attractive. And here's the truth most men need to hear. Attraction is not built by intensity. It is built by harmony. It is built by knowing when to move forward and when to simply stay present. So don't rush. Don't try to impress. Don't try to take more than what is being given. Instead, mirror, reflect, align. Because when she feels that you are in sync with her, not ahead, not behind, but right there with her, that is when she relaxes, that is when she trusts, and that is when she begins to move closer without hesitation. This is how to fall in love the right way. This is how a high-value man builds connection without ever needing to ask for it. Number 7. Control the pace, because the one who controls the pace controls the emotion. Understand this. The man who controls the pace often shapes the emotional experience, and the man who shapes that experience is the one she remembers. This is where many men fail, not because they are not smart or not good, but because they move too fast when patience is needed and too slow when boldness is required. They rush to impress. They rush to define the moment. They rush to fill every silence as if silence is dangerous. Then, when life asks them to step forward with calm confidence, they hesitate, overthink, and let the moment die in their hands. That is the mistake. That is where attraction slips away. As Marcus Aurelius reminded us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The man who understands timing understands that attraction is not created by pressure. It is created by rhythm. It is created by emotional intelligence. It is created by knowing when to speak, when to pause, when to smile, when to hold eye contact, and when to let the moment breathe. This is not about playing games. This is not about pretending. This is not about following some stiff script that makes you sound calculated. It is about presence. It is about awareness. It is about feeling the flow of the interaction and refusing to sabotage it with neediness or fear. Most men think they need better lines. Wrong. Most men need better timing. They need to stop treating connection like a race. They need to stop acting as if attraction can be forced by volume, speed, or constant performance. It cannot. A woman often feels drawn in when the pace feels natural, grounded, and emotionally steady. If the energy is building, do not smother it with nervous talking. Stay with it. Let it grow. If the energy softens, do not panic. Do not start performing. Do not act as if every dip means failure. Let it settle. Let it breathe. Let the wave do what the wave does. Because attraction is rarely a straight line. It moves in waves. It rises, it relaxes, it rises again. A mature man understands this. A centered man respects this. A man with real masculine energy does not fight the rhythm just to prove he is in control. He shows control by not needing to force anything. That is the paradox. The less desperate you are to seize the moment, the more powerfully the moment begins to open for you. In modern life, this matters more than ever. People are tired, distracted, pulled in 100 directions by phones, work, stress, family responsibilities, and emotional fatigue. If you are speaking with a woman today, whether on a date, over text, or in a quiet conversation after years of disappointment, you must understand that pacing is no small detail. It is the frame of the entire experience. If you come on too hard, you create pressure. If you hold back too much, you create uncertainty. But when your pace is calm, clear, and intentional, you create comfort and tension at the same time. That is rare. That is powerful. That is how men attract women without begging for approval. Theodore Roosevelt said, "People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care." The same principle applies here. A woman will not feel connected because you unloaded your entire resume, your achievements, your plans, and your opinions in 10 frantic minutes. She feels connected when your pace shows emotional steadiness, when your attention is real, when your timing communicates that you are secure enough to let the interaction unfold. That is masculine energy in action. Not loud, not restless, not forced. Steady, calm, directed. Be the man who can hold eye contact without rushing to prove something. Be the man who can pause after asking a meaningful question and let her answer fully. Be the man who does not speed ahead emotionally just because he feels excitement. Excitement is good. Lack of control is not. Learn the difference. Learn it well. Learn it now. Because when you master pace, you remove awkwardness. You remove that invisible pressure that makes conversations feel heavy. You remove confusion. And what replaces it is far more valuable: comfort, clarity, natural tension, and the sense that this interaction is going somewhere good without being pushed there. That is why pacing matters so much in female psychology. A woman rarely feels safe with chaos. She rarely feels deeply attracted to emotional imbalance. She responds to grounded leadership. She notices when a man can stay composed. She notices when he can guide the energy without grabbing at it. She notices when he can feel the room instead of pushing through it. Maya Angelou said, "People will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." Remember that. Burn it into your mind. Because the pace you set becomes the feeling you create, and the feeling you create becomes the memory she carries. So do not be robotic. Do not memorize lines and fire them off like a machine. Watch her energy. Listen to her tone. Notice her breathing, her posture, her smile, her silence. Respect those signals. Then match the pace and gently lead it forward. That is leadership without pressure. That is confidence without arrogance. That is how strong men attract women in a way that feels natural, not needy. And here is the deeper truth few men ever understand. When you control the pace, you reveal emotional discipline, and emotional discipline is one of the most attractive qualities a man can possess. Anyone can talk. Anyone can react. Anyone can push. Few men can wait. Few men can stay calm when they want something. Few men can hold a moment without trying to control it or escape it. Be one of the few. In your texts, do not flood her with messages just because you feel uncertain. In your dates, do not rush intimacy just because the energy feels promising. In your conversations, do not interrupt magic with fear. Hold your ground. Trust the rhythm. Let the moment come to full life. Because when your masculine energy is rooted in patience, self-control, and awareness, you stop chasing outcomes and start creating experiences. That is the shift. That is the win. That is how you master the emotional pace instead of being mastered by it. So remember this lesson and carry it into every interaction. Do not rush, do not freeze, do not force, do not chase. Feel the rhythm. Respect the timing. Lead with calm intention. That is how grown men attract women. That is how real masculine energy is felt. And that is how the man who once missed the moment becomes the man who knows exactly when to move, exactly when to pause, and exactly how to leave a lasting impression without ever needing to beg for one. The final trick, make it the moment's idea, not your idea. The final trick is simple, but don't underestimate it. It changes everything. You must stop making it your idea and start letting it feel like the moment's idea. That is the shift. That is the difference between tension and ease, between resistance and natural attraction. Women don't fall into pressure. They fall into moments. Moments feel alive. Moments feel honest. And most importantly, moments don't feel forced. So don't ask. Don't push. Don't turn it into a decision she has to make. Be present instead. Say something like, "This feels really nice," or "It's kind of crazy how comfortable this feels right now," or even, "You have a really gentle energy in this moment." Notice what you're doing here. You're not asking for anything. You're not leading her into a yes or no situation. You're simply naming what already exists. That is one of the most overlooked psychology tricks, and it taps directly into female psychology in a way most men completely miss. Now understand this deeply. Women follow emotion, not logic, not requests, emotion. And emotion only lives in the present moment. That is why when you highlight the moment, you are guiding her attention into a shared emotional space. You are not pulling her somewhere. You are meeting her where she already is. That is powerful. That is calm confidence. Don't rush past it. Be there. Let it breathe. Because the second you turn it into, "Do you want to?" you break the spell. You bring her out of the feeling and into her head. And in her head, she starts evaluating. She starts questioning. She starts protecting herself. That is where hesitation is born. But when you stay with the feeling, when you let the moment speak, there is no pressure. There is no awkwardness. There is no rejection. That is the beauty of this approach. It doesn't try to win her. It allows her to feel her way toward you. Here's the deeper layer most men never realize. When you make a request, you position yourself as the one who wants something, and that subtly creates imbalance. It creates tension. But when you simply acknowledge the moment, you remove yourself as the agent. You're no longer the one chasing an outcome. The moment itself becomes the source of desire. That is a quiet but powerful shift in psychology tricks that aligns perfectly with female psychology. Because now she's not responding to you. She's responding to the feeling. And feelings feel safe. Feelings feel real. Feelings don't come with pressure attached. So don't interrupt that flow. Don't overthink it. Don't try to control it. Be in it. And here's something important. When you say, "This feels really nice," you're doing more than just describing a moment. You're inviting her into a shared experience. It's no longer you wanting her. It's both of you experiencing something together. That is the foundation of real connection, not performance, not strategy, shared presence. And when a woman feels that, she relaxes, she opens, she leans in, not because she was asked to, but because it feels right. That is the kind of attraction that doesn't need convincing. That is the kind of intimacy that builds naturally. Don't misunderstand this. This is not about being passive. This is not about waiting endlessly. This is about leading in a way that feels effortless, calm, grounded, intentional. You must trust the moment. You must trust that when the energy is right, less is more. Say less. Feel more. Let silence work for you. Let eye contact speak. Let the atmosphere build without rushing to label it or control it. That is where real magnetism lives. Most men talk too much. They explain too much. They ask too much. Don't do that. Be the man who understands that presence is more powerful than persuasion. And yes, this may feel unfamiliar at first. You might feel like you're not doing enough. But that's exactly the point. Attraction is not about doing more. It's about doing the right things at the right time, and sometimes that means stepping back and letting the moment lead. This is where psychology tricks meet emotional intelligence. This is where understanding female psychology gives you an edge without ever needing to force anything. Because when a woman feels something genuine, she doesn't need to be convinced. She chooses it freely, naturally. So remember this clearly. Don't ask when you can feel. Don't push when you can allow. Don't turn a moment into a transaction. Keep it real. Keep it simple. Keep it present. That is how you remove rejection from the equation. That is how you create connection without pressure. And that is how you move from being someone who tries to someone who attracts. If this opened your eyes even a little, don't just move on. Sit with it. Apply it. Observe how people respond when you shift from asking to feeling, from chasing to allowing. Because once you truly understand this, you'll never go back to the old way again. Hey, my friend, before you click away, take a second and really sit with this. Attraction is not about saying the perfect line, and it's definitely not about trying too hard. Most men get this wrong. They chase, they over-explain, they try to impress. And in doing that, they lose the one thing that actually creates attraction: calm, grounded presence. You don't need to be louder. You don't need to be smarter. You need to be centered. Be the man who listens more than he speaks. Be the man who asks with curiosity, not neediness. That is what makes a woman feel something real. That is what makes her lean in, not pull away. Understand this clearly. When you control your emotions, you control the energy of the interaction. And when you control the energy, you control the outcome. That's not manipulation, it's awareness. It's discipline. It's knowing who you are and not losing that just to get someone's attention. So don't rush. Don't force it. Let the moment breathe. Let her come to you emotionally instead of you chasing her physically. That is where true attraction lives. If you got value from this, go ahead, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Stay connected, because what you're learning here isn't surface level advice. This is real-world psychology, the kind that changes how you see people, how you communicate, and how you move in every relationship. And when you finish this video, don't stop here. Check out the other videos on the channel. There's a whole world of hidden psychology waiting for you, insights that most men never discover. But once you do, you'll never look at attraction the same way again. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your time. Stay calm, stay sharp, and most importantly, stay in control of yourself. That's where your real power is.